Dr. Mukul Sangma, leader of the opposition and Trinamool Congress leader, assured that the party would ensure scientific mining practices do not lead to illegal coal extraction and smuggling. Speaking on February 6, 2025, he emphasized the need for strict monitoring to prevent scientific mining from being misused for illegal coal extraction and transportation. It may be reminded that on January 29, 2025, the Controller of Coal Government of India signed 3 agreements with mining entities in Pendeng Shalang, West Khasi Hills, Saringkham, East Janja Hills, and Lumyakhi Wasarang, East Janja Hills for regulated coal extraction.
We have to see whether this scientific coal mining, which has gone through all the necessary procedure to ultimately reach to this level, we'll have to watch. Whether this is weaponized to facilitate illegal mining also has to be another issue which has to be under close watch. And we need to do that because, as I said, it revolves around the interests of the state. It revolves around the interests of the people. See, you will recall that number of intervention of the government has been sought for. And I think it is important for us to refresh ourselves with the responsibility that is vested upon the authorities pertaining to the issues of any illegal mining. Please remember that the Section 21 of the MMDR Act 1957 make it binding on the part of the government to take any issue of illegal coal mining cognizable. This is a cognizable offense. So when we say that this is a cognizable offense, that means the government or the authorities concerned who are vested with the responsibility have to take cognizance of any instances of such illegalities. Now you see that these issues of illegalities pertaining to the coal mining has been reflected in the various reports of the your Kataki committee. It is available for everyone. Based on that, the government has to take cognizance of these issues and rectify everything. But in absence of taking cognizance, then the authorities must be held responsible. That is as simple as that. You got my point? You have a committee, and the committee has submitted number of reports. The report itself is exhaustive, comprehensive, and reflective of what is happening. And besides this, you will recollect and appreciate the fact that earlier in the preceding years, we have flagged this issue before the government. I have personally written these letters to the Chief Secretary and expected action. But to my utter surprise, I don't see any action. Therefore, let us be very clear. Failure to take cognizance of these illegalities, people who are in authority will be answerable. And I think you are also aware that some of the national medias have carried a news article wherein the ED has conducted raids which is connected with business revolving around coke plants in Meghalaya. You are aware of that? Okay. Now here, I would like to further reiterate that if there are illegalities revolving around coke plants in Meghalaya, that means the authorities concerned in the respective districts, in the coal-bearing districts, must take cognizance, and the government on top of that must take cognizance of this and take action. Now, in absence of that, we have reasons to believe that the illegality of this scale, if it is happening in a small state like Meghalaya, which are not as inaccessible as it was before. Today, you have accessibility to all those coal mining areas. You have beautiful roads constructed. You have a connecting road from Shillong, Nongstoin through Salang, the coal-bearing areas. Do you have a problem to have accessibility? No, you don't have. So therefore, there cannot be any excuse for the authorities that they cannot know what is happening. Now, therefore, I think I have maintained it very clearly earlier also. The illegality of this scale in respect of coal mining for such a long period of time, as though it is continuing in perpetuity, cannot happen without the patronage of the authorities concerned. Therefore, it is not a blame game. Therefore, I will urge the authorities, the government of the day, to ensure that they fulfill their responsibility in sync with the laid down rules, laws, and all other constitutional requirements to protect the interests of the state. Stopping illegal coal mining and stopping illegal transportation of such illegally extracted coal is to protect the interests of the state, to protect the interests of the people. Now, whose responsibility it is to protect the interests of the state? It is, I must say, a responsibility which must be considered almost as though it's a divine responsibility of the government. Because for a state of Meghalaya, when we are, struggling to have the resources required for the need of the developmental aspirations of the people, you have the district councils who are not yet able to pay their salaries. Where is the source of resources for the district councils? Is it not a fact that district council has a share of royalty accrued from the royalty collected by the government from coal? Is it not a fact? Now, if this coal, which are supposed to be subjected to legal, which are subjected to all process of legalities, will eventually ensure that the royalties which are required to be collected are collected in the right earnest. That means they will find their way into the public exchequer. But today, contrary is happening. So therefore, there is a complete failure of the government to protect the interests of the people, failure to protect the interests of the state. The responsibility of the committee headed by Justice Kattaki is available for the government to do many things. And at the same time, these reports should not remain only as reports for the sake of report. You see, the NGT is also duty bound. Is also the responsibility, the honors of responsibility is also with NGT. They have to pull up the officers concerned. They have to pull up the chief secretary. They have to pull up the DGP. What is the initial order? If you go by the first order of the NGT, stopping or banning all the coal mining activities which are considered illegal due to the fact that they were not inconsistent with the various statutory laws governing coal mining activities, in sync with the mandate of the various laws, including MMDR Act and environmental laws. Now, the honors of responsibility of implementing the order of any court, or for that matter, NGT, is vested first with the chief secretary and the DGP. Let us be very, very clear. And this whole thing is vested upon the government of the day, because if they are not taking cognizance of these illegalities, I have reasons to believe that there is a complicity. Allowing illegalities to happen. For whose interest? Are they not paid? Is there anybody else who will take this responsibility? Is there any alternative authority which is provided with this responsibility? No. So therefore, whose job it is? Therefore, you see, there is a complicity with even Coal India also. What is the duration of time needed for taking all the measures to ensure that all those coal which were declared in their inventory at the time of submitting before the Honorable Supreme Court, which is reflected in the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court dated 3rd July 2019. It is very clear. The responsibility is vested upon few authorities, including Coal India, and the state government. How does it take so much of time? 2019, this is 2025. How does it take so much of time for this coal to be, all those, whatever were still declared as per the inventory submitted? Rather, it is a revised inventory submitted by the state government. Earlier inventory was projecting that the subsequent balance of coal which were yet to be transported with the relevant permission of the government were around 2 lakh metric ton. Then suddenly there was an inventory which was reflective of highly inflated stock of already extracted coal. So there is the time when NGT2 should have taken cognizance of this inflated. How can something which were around 2 lakh metric ton suddenly become 30 plus lakhs? Okay, now if they have accepted that inventory, does it take 6 years for this to be transported? Does it take 6 years? That means this whole process is being delayed in order to ensure that under the so-called transportation of this extracted coal, which were declared before the Honorable Supreme Court through their inventory, declared revised inventory, it is being weaponized to facilitate illegal coal mining. If you do not believe, you go and see the coal. 2019's coal and now, how will the coal see? We all know chemistry, we all know physics. What happens when a particularly extracted coal is dumped in a place, in the open, subjected to all, onslaught of rain, sun, everything? What happens? How will be the physical appearance? How will be the physical appearance of the coal on the depots? Go and see for yourself and have your own interpretation. And that will be reflective of, how sincere everyone is. Let me be very blunt. Why? Is it not possible for the officers to determine whether the coal is new, freshly extracted or not? Is it not possible? They are geologists. They come with all the background of knowledge based on whatever they have studied, based on which they are qualified to be the officers in relevant departments. So therefore, friends, it is a serious issue. Today, our Garbage Autonomous District Council is not able to pay salaries for the employees. That means that the complete functioning of the Honorable GHADC is as bad as crippled. That means we talk about the importance of the sixth schedule, the provision of the sixth schedule of the Constitution of India, vis-a-vis the overall rights vested upon our people belonging to scheduled tribe, particularly our indigenous tribes. So what is going to happen if this whole, I must say, insensitivity of the government results in complete crippling of this important institution which is mandated by the Constitution to protect the interests of our indigenous people and to protect the land that our people have inherited. So many things are there which has its own collateral adverse, which becomes victim due to the collateral effect.